Flash episode 5, Plastique. I love this episode. It was great to get another metahuman who was actually a good guy for a change, and everything just switched at the end. It was like the last thing I expected was for her to actually be killed in this episode. I honestly thought she would kind of be like a new step in a plot line where she would go off and then at some point she'd come back and like help out the team and she'd be like, hey, I found these other people. And that's what I thought Harrison was telling her, like, he'll never stop attacking, your herd or your flock. You have to go out there and recruit people and teach them how to control their powers and stuff. And instead he went full evil and was like, you need to kill this guy, and then that got her killed, which I have to assume is his plan. I don't know if she died before, like in his timeline, if she actually died, or if he told her to do that, because of course he didn't really exist during that timeline. So things worked out anyway. However, Barry ended up becoming the Flash before Harrison was actually in the past and stuff like that. I don't know how they're gonna do the whole time thing, so it could be like however they decide to write it, but I don't know if that was a part of his plan. Like, she did something that kind of threw Barry off, and she was maybe like a part of the reason he got killed in the future. And so he was like, okay, it might be a minor step, but it's something that could help. So I'm gonna have her die, and I'm gonna tell her to go against this guy, and I know it's gonna fail somehow. Or maybe she died, and he was like the one who initially did it or something. But it really sucked to see her go, and I liked her character. Plastique was pretty cool. Her powers were pretty sweet. But it sucked that she had to get killed in this episode for things to kind of... Well, she didn't have to get killed for things to work out, but whatever his plan is, he had her killed. And it was really interesting. I love the episode. It was cool to see someone else learning about their powers and stuff like that. And Barry, at the end, he had to take her out to the water because she was about to detonate. And that was one thing I really did love about this episode. The CG in this one was really great. Like, him running up the building, I thought looked really cool because they did like the sort of side view and stuff. That looked really amazing. Him running through the water was definitely really cool. He ran on water in this episode too, so that was really cool. The science behind it, they were like doing the mathematics, like, okay, you run this fast up the building, you have to make sure you keep that velocity or you'll hit the ground and die. You have to have this velocity while you're carrying her, otherwise you won't be able to actually run on the water. His metabolism being super high, he doesn't get drunk, which as soon as they were drinking, I knew that was going to come up. Like, I knew he wasn't going to get drunk. But I love how they did it at the end, and he got like 500 proof, like, little cocktail, and he was like, woo, like, I'm really buzzed, like, and it's gone. So I thought that was funny. It was a nice little way for them to do that. And another super sad thing was Barry and Iris, like, not being friends for a little while. I know it'll fix itself up, and like one of the big things about this episode was just friendships and how people come into your life, and whether it's like destiny or it's just it happens. But I did not expect them to just not be friends for a while. I didn't think that he would do that in order to get her to stop, and it probably won't stop her. Like, it could, but honestly I think she's still going to look into this and try to figure it out so that she can come back to him. Even if he's kind of given up on things, she'll probably still go after and try to come back to him with some sort of answer, like, this is it, like, this is the actual answer. And it seemed like things were gonna kind of work themselves out. Like, she would probably stop, especially after he went to see her as the Flash. And unfortunately that didn't work either, and it was just really sad. I was like, I was not expecting that, and it was just like, man, that kind of sucks. And it's gonna be a really big change for at least for the episodes where they're doing that. It won't be the rest of the series, but it'll be a change for a little while, and it's going to be kind of sad seeing them, like, because I'm sure they're going to run into each other, especially at the station, and it's just going to be really awkward. And Barry already doesn't like the other guy that she's with, and I don't even care to remember his name, honestly, because I think we all don't need him in there too much, but it's just going to be awkward when they run into each other. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but it was just like sad. I was like, I did not see that coming, and it just made me a little sad that he said that. It was like, that kind of sucks. And then she was like crying at the end and stuff. But I'm hoping to get a really good storyline out of it, and I'm sure it will be. But we'll have to wait for them to kind of get back together as friends, and who knows what that's gonna take. Either she's gonna find out his secret, and that's gonna get them back together, or it'll just be something else. Maybe he'll just give up, and it'll be like, hey, I do believe in all this stuff, but I don't know. He'd have to come up with something. But it was crazy to see that. I didn't expect it. But I love the episode. Like I said, the CG was really good. The story was just the story was really cool, and then it's just like kind of sad at the end, like just random multiple sad moments. Like everything just got depressing at the end. Like he couldn't save Plastique, and she ended up getting killed, and he had to kind of stop being friends with Iris, at least temporarily. We know that's not going to be permanent, but it was still kind of sad, and he just kind of had like sort of a downer ending, and except for like a little funny moment at the end when they were drinking. But it was a good episode, and then the actual ending, like the after credit type of special stuff that they keep doing for us, was definitely great. I think it was the very first episode. There was like a teaser that said like Grodd on something, and people were wondering if Grodd was going to be in the show, and he is. Like, it was really cool. Like, I was wondering like, what is he talking about when he says, as long as he's here in my lab, I don't want to do experiments on him. I'm like, what is he talking about? Who is he? And then it's Grodd. So I don't know where Grodd is. I don't know what Harrison has already done, but I'm excited to see that play out. They probably won't do that for quite some time because it would be like a big CG ape. So they might kind of wait and figure out exactly how they want that to look. And also because Grodd is like a huge deal for Flash, they might just save that maybe for like the mid-season finale or sometime later in this season. But that was a really cool little thing because typically it's just like him really just like killing somebody else. But in this, it was definitely pretty cool. It was a nice little teaser for a villain that I'm pretty sure we aren't going to see him anytime soon. But he's been there, and that was 5 years ago when they showed the little scene in the past. So that was 5 years ago. What has been happening since then? And of course, Harrison knows. He's like, I have a whole different future, in mind for you. So he has these plans. Maybe he set him up somewhere and he's already changed, but he's slowly developing like he is. He wasn't, maybe that's how they're going to write it. He wasn't just like instantly changed and became genius or anything, but it's going to slowly develop over time, and then he'll come into the series. But that was a really cool way to end it. It was like, here's like the great little tease for a villain that we're going to have in the future. But overall, great episode. Excited for next week's episode. It should be pretty good. But overall, great episode, great CG, comedy, of course, just Flash comedy I think is really, really good. So one of my favorite moments was when they referenced Felicity like early on in the episode. I thought that was really good. And just every scene when they were drinking was just something silly and funny, like him not being able to get drunk, and all that stuff was really good. But I loved the episode. Comment below, let me know what you guys thought about it, your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And what do you guys think about Grodd officially being in the show? It's no longer just a cool little teaser, like he may or may not be in it. Grodd is officially going to be in the show at some point. I'd love to see it like sometime really soon, but I highly doubt that. But what do you guys think about Grodd officially being in the show? Are you excited? If you aren't really big into like Flash and you don't know Grodd or anything, doesn't really matter. Like basically, if you don't know Grodd, he's like a super genius gorilla or ape or whatever, I don't know. And he's just a super genius, ape, and he just goes nuts. Like he becomes a villain like pretty much automatically because he's so smart, and he kind of goes the route of a genius where like genius humans are typically like kind of detached from I guess more normal people because you're much smarter than everyone else. And in his case, he kind of did that and became evil because he was, I don't know, because it's a comic book, so he did. But he's basically an evil giant gorilla that can just destroy you with strength and also play mental games, which is what he typically does. He kind of messes with your head because he can do that. But are you guys excited for his introduction, or did it not really make much of a difference to you? And what did you guys think of Plastique? Would you prefer it if she lived, or are you guys fine with the way they did it, where she actually got killed off in this episode? Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.